Hey guys, back with some more Bazaar, and we are going to be reading through the patch notes. Loads and loads of changes this season, so I won't have too long of an intro, and we'll just get straight into it because there is a lot to cover. First of all, we have the legendary rating changes. So, when you reach the legendary rank, you now start with a rating of 500, and rating changes at the end of the run based on the following formula. Rating change equals wins minus current rating, base rating multiplied by neutral wins, multiplied scale factor plus 10 win bonus. So basically, it creates a situation where you see here a player with an average of 8 wins will approach an 800 rating over time, whereas someone with a 4 wins average will approach 400 over time. So it essentially is creating a more effective elo system in the legend rank. I think this is a good change. I'm excited for this change. Seems reasonable to me. Heal Cleanse. This is a great change, I think. I think Heal Cleanse was quite overpowered in terms of cleansing, heal, and burn. So instead, now it actually cleanses for 10% of the heal amount. So if you heal for like 100, you cleanse 10 poison and 10 burn, etc., etc. So this makes a lot of sense, and it's great if you have a massive money tree or something along those lines. You're actually probably going to be cleansing more than you were before. So if you have a massive money tree, you could probably cleanse like all of the poison and burn on you, which I think is really cool. All right, now combat only effects. So these are some issues where I had no clue that this was even happening at all, but they fixed it apparently. So cooldown reduction changes. This is a big change. So basically, you don't need to shuffle around your board anymore, and you can just sell your feather, sell your insect wing, and it doesn't make a difference anymore. So it's basically calculated now that when you sell those things, it calculates it off of its base cooldown rather than its modified cooldown. So shuffling your stuff around makes no difference. And yeah, so the value of each 1% cooldown is the same regardless of timing. Caps and clamps apply in edge cases. Now this is huge. Start a run. Characters now start with 2 XP instead of 0. We're going to see some more level ups now. And you cannot lose a monster fight anymore. You lose a monster fight, you're screwed. You're going to be underleveled for the first couple of days. You're not going to make it. Because every time now, at the moment, you level up with just 1 XP after your player fight. So if you lose some monster fights and you don't get that 2 XP, you won't level up before your fight. You gotta win your monster fights for the first couple of days at least. So take the safe option. I'm begging you, take the safe option. Okay, so level up changes. So this is another big change. So the level up tiers, so level 10 now, the office enchantments, it's now just the artist. It's just a random. This is interesting to me. It does kind of make it, I guess, a little bit more fair for everyone, fair and random. But at the same time, it's fair and random. So if you get a bad enchant from the artist, then you're screwed and you don't get to pick a safe option. I like the idea that you get to choose from a guaranteed one. And if you don't like it, you go to the random one. And I guess this doesn't give you the illusion of choice anymore in level up tiers, that you pick the random enchantment, you pick the artist, and it just gives you the same one. So Futura and Face now provide 2 specific enchantment pedestals instead of enchantment choice. That makes sense to me. I like that. I think it's a little bit better. Typically, I think out of the 2, you'll have one that you like. So I think that makes sense. It also makes it harder to die then, I think, because you get to pick a better enchantment. If the artist is one of those, I think this makes sense. I don't know whether this means that it's 2 random ones and it shows you which one they are, or if it's the same, where it shows you one guarantee, one it shows you the artist as a pedestal. I don't know. So, crit chance. Adjust the application rules to better handle edge case items that can't crit. For example, igloo. So I'm assuming this is things that like black ice, where when you freeze, you poison. So you can't crit poison when you freeze and stuff like that. Not really 100% sure all of the items that have this sort of change, but seems okay to me. Rounding rules. So most percentage-based effects now round up with a floor of 1. Sure, whatever that means for percentage-based items. Ghost. Fix an issue where certain temporary player and item modifiers were not recorded on Ghost. Never found this issue at all, so that's okay with me. User interface. Various UI adjustments. Various UI adjustments and optimizations. Concede now has a confirmation dialogue. That is really good. You don't just want to accidentally concede anymore. It's happened to me once or twice before. I've accidentally clicked it. Regeneration effects now have a gem. Love this as well. You actually get to see on your card how much regen you're getting from it instead of having to click into it and see the effect. So, some updated card effects. Doesn't say what they are, but sure. Encounters. I mean, obviously, actually, let's come back here. Electric Eel, updated card effects. Maybe it got nerfed. Who knows? Who knows? All right, but encounters. So, lots of encounter change. So, Strange Mushroom, you get a new option for dually, share it with a friend. You gain a small silver to your friend. This is really good, I think. This will, like, for dually, if you don't have a friend, which is already pretty hard not to have a friend, you get that, and now you're better at going to the, you know, little monster guy, fluffy little monster, whatever his name is. I think this is a good change. Don't know whether it's better than the other options, but it's a small silver tier friend, so I think it's pretty decent. Seems similar to Vanessa's small silver tier item. Borrow now grants an additional gold. Don't know if I'd ever pick it still, especially early on in the game. It still wouldn't pay for itself. Maybe later in the game I would, but typically later in the game I'm not really desperate for money anyway, so this makes sense. They buffed it a little bit. I mean, I never took it anyway, but Jungle Ruins, search the bodies. Vanessa, renamed from plunder for treasure. Search the bodies, get a small silver tier weapon or apparel from any hero. Search for abandoned tools, dually get a small silver tier tool from any hero. I think these are good changes. It maybe lowers the risk a little bit. You're not just getting any item, you're getting a specific type, which I think makes sense. Especially silver tier weapon or apparel from any hero for Vanessa. Apparel, not really sure about, but it makes sense contextually given you're searching the bodies. Okay, Temple Expedition, the new encounter. Spawns on day 9 if you have the required item, the Jungle Expedition ticket, and it contains new encounters and items. So, Jungle Expedition ticket. I covered this in my other video. So it drops from the following monsters and encounters. We've got Borea, Dabbling Apprentice, Street Gamer, Eccentric Aetherite, Hellbilly, Prince Marianus, Kyber Commander, Gorgon Noble, Trashtown Mare, Foundation Weeper, Treasure Turtle, Tiny Furry Creature, Low Chance from Loot Option, Jungle Ruins, Low Chance from Loot Option, Mountain Pass, Low Chance from Loot Option. On my first run, I haven't done my run yet because the game is updating, but on my first run, I am going to every single monster and I'm trying to get this thing. I swear, I want to do this event so badly. Okay, now we have specific item changes. Dually items. Alpha Ray now starts at silver tier. Sure. Armored Core cooldown goes down a little bit now. I think. I don't know what it was before, but I think this makes some sense. So cooldown reduction across all of the cores except for the core, I believe, is what I'm seeing here. This makes sense. I like this. I still think even with the diamond tier changes on the cores, I think they were still a little bit underpowered. I really like this. I've especially loved playing with the crit core a little bit recently. But yeah, cool core changes. Bulldozer, you and your other friends, have their cooldowns reduced by 10, 15, 20%. I think this makes sense. This is, I think it's a decent change. Yeah, Chris Army Knife now has a tech tag. This makes sense as well. He sucks, so just give him all the tags possible. The cooldown reduction makes a lot of sense as well. Maybe he's actually decent at Diamond tier just for a really fast activation at 3 seconds. Critical Core again, cooldown got reduced, which is good. Cog gained the relic type. Don't know if that makes sense to me, but sure. I guess a cog is a relic somehow. Copper Ed got its cooldown reduced again. This is good. It already had its cooldown reduced before, but I think reducing it even more makes sense because it still lacks in terms of its other things. So I think just making it a fast activation does make sense. Cybersecurity. Okay, so this got nerfed. 30, 40, 50 damage for each other weapon and tech item you have. This deals 2, 3, 4 times damage if it's your only friend. So I'm going to pivot here now to how Bazaar. It shows the previous things instead. So we have a new item here, Barb Spike Warden. So it's a legendary item that's also a relic. Has poison, freeze, and burn. So it poisons for 10, and when you freeze, poison, or burn, your relics gain plus 10 poison for the fight. When you use another relic, charges 1 second. This seems really strong, at least with the charge. All of the other relics I've been seeing so far have been when you use a relic, charge. When you use a relic, charge. So it seems like a relic build for Mac is going to go super quickly. So when you freeze, poison, and burn, relics gain 10 poison. When you use another relic, charges 1 second. And it poisons for 10. Now, obviously, enchantments as well, pretty standard. Blaze Howl Warden, another one. It's essentially the same thing, except for burn. So when you freeze, poison, and burn, your relics gain +10 burn for the fight. When you use another relic, charge just 1 second. Yeah, this makes sense if you're running this with something like the Eternal Torch. It needs a lot of burns, so this makes sense. Chimeric Egg. So this is a new bronze economy item. So at the start of the day, this gains 4 value. So it's essentially something you would want to hold on to. And when you sell it, you get an enchanted friend from any hero. When this value reaches 10, 20, 30 outside of combat, you upgrade it. Yeah, this makes sense. This is a cool looking item. I'm excited for this. Some more, like another, it's like a economy item that you hold on for a while. It's like a little investment that you just keep in your stash, similar to pig stuff. I think this is cool. This makes sense to me. Chunk of Lead, when this gets transformed outside of combat, I don't think many people are transforming it inside combat either, but I guess there would be some instances where it would. Cosmic Amulet, Relic Tag, Cosmic Plumage, Relic Tag, sure. Darkstone Engine, so this was the curious looking legendary weapon that I was seeing. So, legendary, Relic, damage, medium size, so no, this is a different one actually. So cooldown at 5 seconds, it has lifesteal, automatically deals 100 damage. Now at the start of each fight, enchant a non-enchanted item with obsidian for the fight. This has +1 multicast for each obsidian enchanted item you have. Oh my goodness. What? It has lifesteal, it does 100 damage. Cooldown of 5 seconds, and it has multicast? This is gonna go crazy fast. Okay, and this is just base damage as well. Wow, okay, this feels really strong. I'll be looking out for this guy. Okay, Darkstone Focuser. So this is what I was looking at. This is what I thought looked interesting. So I guess things that have innate lifesteal look differently now in terms of their color. Okay, so it's legendary. It's a relic and a weapon. Damage tag. It's small. Cooldown at 8 seconds with lifesteal. So it deals 50 damage for each weapon you have. Okay, that feels okay in the late game, maybe. Like you deal what? 500 damage with lifesteal at 8 seconds? Meh. Okay, reduced by 1 second for each other. Okay, that sounds a little bit better. Okay, so you have a lot of damage, but it's like small relics, and that makes sense. When you sell this, enchant your leftmost item with obsidian. That's absurd. It's going to be worth 50 as well, so it's a great economy item. Enchant's a regular as well. Dragonheart got the relic tag. The Colossus got the relic tag. Feather starts at silver now. So cooldown is going to be slightly harder to come by. And it's at the same, it doesn't go to 8%. So it's silver, it starts at 2, 4, then 6. So cooldown is significantly worse now. You don't get that 8% at diamond. It just starts at 2, 4, and 6. I think this makes sense. I guess you can just kind of RNG and luck it out and get a lot of cooldown reduction where other people don't get it. Sure. I don't really mind that change, especially with the new non-rearrange stuff. I think it just fits. It's more consistent. Now we have another legendary item, one of the new relics, Flame Coil Gem. Already explained this in another video, but it's a legendary item. It's a relic. It's small. And it has a cooldown at 8 seconds. So cooldown at 8 seconds, burn 5 for each burn item you have. This seems really strong. You can have a really, really high burn item with a really, really low cooldown. That's a great enabler for a lot of the other burn relics that we're seeing. So when you sell this, enchant your leftmost item with fiery. Another great change. Well, just a great legendary item, sorry. It's worth 50 gold, and when you sell it, you get fiery on your leftmost item. Like, come on. Won't look at the enchants. Forgotten God. So this is one of the monster items. I believe it's on the frog dude. So it starts at silver, relic tag, poison and slow reference. It's small. Cooldown of 6 seconds. It poisons for 4. So when an adjacent item slows, this gains poison. That's cool. I like that. We're seeing some slow poison interaction. I think that's, it makes sense. We get a bit of a scaler, and that's cool. Genie Lamp. Relic tag? Sure. Makes sense. Does this mean that the genie's coming back into the game? I don't know. I guess so, if that's the tag is going back on it. Okay, Gland. when you sell this, you gain regen. When you sell this, permanently gain regen. I think that's just a wording change. I'm pretty sure it was permanent anyway. Another new legendary item. I have already explained it in my other video, but I'll just go over it briefly. Relic. It starts as... no, sorry. This isn't legendary. This is silver tier item, but I have explained this before. Part of the new Mac Relic set. Okay, so shield, poison reference. So cooldown 6 seconds and you shield. When you poison, charges 1 second. Yeah, makes sense. Although I believe this was freeze previous to this, if I'm not mistaken. So it's changed to be a shield item, or when you poison, charge it. Okay, I think that's good because it was freeze. Oh, never mind. There's another item with the exact same art that I'm seeing down here, which is the freeze version, and this is the legendary one. Okay, so the art is just the same, I guess. Hot Springs is a property. That makes sense to me. I do like that for a pig buy sell situation. Makes me more encouraged to go to Curio now that he has 2 bronze properties. Ice Watch Warden, another legendary item I've already explained. We'll just go over it briefly. It's a relic. Freeze, burn reference, poison reference, and charge. Medium. It's just obviously between all heroes. 8-second cooldown, you freeze. You also charge adjacent relics. And when you freeze, poison, or burn, charges 1 second. This is going to go so quickly, man. You have a freeze, poison, or burn relic next to this thing. It's going to charge them really quickly, and it's going to go uber fast. Like, it's going to go ridiculously quickly. Obviously, we just got regular enchants as well. I think this item's going to be really strong. Infernal Greatsword has the relic tag. Makes sense. Insect Wing. Again, we see that cooldown reduction. It starts at silver, and it has the bronze, silver, and gold tiers now. Magician's Top Hat. You can enchant it, I guess, and it gets removed now for some reason. Okay, so another legendary item, the Meituan Altar, sorry. Legendary, so it's a relic, small item, cooldown at 8 seconds, poison 5. Okay, so this is a similar sort of thing with the obsidian and the flame version of what we've been seeing. I wonder if this is influenced by the door that you have and that you're guaranteed to see this item when you pick the fiery, the toxic, or the obsidian door. I'm not sure, but it makes sense thematically maybe. It's literally the exact same as all the other ones, but a poison version, so I won't explain it too much. Mortal Coil gets a relic, makes sense. It looks relic-y. Nanobot Blue. Okay, so deal 15, 20, 25. That is the same as before, I believe. This is just a new item, but it's blue. Why are you blue? Why are you green? I'm not really sure what this is, so I'm just going to scroll down over all of these. I'm guessing it's just damage. I don't know. Necronomicon is relic. It seems like they're just giving that to a lot of legendary items, which makes sense. They should be relics. Nullfrost Altar, legendary. We've already covered this one. Basically, any item gets used, you freeze it. However, you remove it, and when you freeze, your weapons gain 10 damage and your shield items gain 10 shield. It's like a scalar iceberg that doesn't actually freeze. I don't know whether I like this or not yet, honestly. I think it would need to be... It's very niche in its usage, I think. You need to have a lot of weapons and shield items. And they have to be quick, I think, as well. But this is cool. I do like the concept of this, but like, would I prefer to just have an iceberg and freeze all my enemies' items for 1 second instead? Maybe, honestly. Anyway, it's definitely an interesting item, though. Scythe is a relic. Solar District is a relic. Similar sort of things to the other legendary items. Spirit Diffuser, we've already covered this, but we'll go over it again. Large legendary item that's a relic. So at the start of each fight, enchant one non-enchanted item on each player's board for the fight. And when an enemy uses an enchanted item, you charge an enchanted item on your board for 2 seconds. This seems really good if you are playing single weapon builds. You only have a narrow board with 1 enchanted item. You're just constantly getting charged on that from your enemy having lots of enchanted items, and it just constantly proccing this ability. I think it makes sense. And it has some really good enchants as well, honestly. So when you use an enchanted item, you do its respective enchant. I think that makes sense. I like the idea of it. Upgrade hammer changes are huge. Now you can just enchant an upgrade hammer if you have it. If you get a random enchant, you don't want to take the main one, and you have an upgrade hammer, you can just send it onto there, and it's very low risk, and you get to choose what it goes on, basically, if you have it at a high enough level. I like these changes. You could already do it with an obsidian hammer that you get from a boomerang. I think this makes sense. Yeah, I like this change. Void Ray and Void Shield get the relic tag, so does the wand. I think this makes a lot of sense. Wand relic is kind of crazy though. It's going to get a lot of charge. This with our previous legendary item that we were looking at, which charges adjacent relics, could be insane. I guess we'll have to see a high roll for that to happen though. Okay, so it's not called the Nargile anymore. It's called the Zoot Flute. Cooldown got lowered. Makes sense. Starts at gold. 2 to 3 items for 2 seconds. Makes sense as well. Adjacent items have 25% crit chance on its enchantment now as well. I don't know whether it's good at all, but I guess it exists still. Feels really hard to get because it is a monster item and you're only really getting it from a select amount of enemies, and it only really makes sense in a slow build. And it's even then doesn't feel amazing in terms of the actual amount of slow it churns out. Okay, now we move on to dual item. Starts at silver instead of bronze. I think this makes sense. It's essentially the exact same item as before, except only starting at silver now. Makes sense because you could get it before you get the core, which, you know, doesn't make any sense. So I think this is a good change. Okay, so Antimatter Chamber has a tech reference now. Enchantments got changed, so when this is destroyed, it does things. It still doesn't have like Radiant, which I think would be super broken on it. So I think that's good. But it does have Shiny, which reduces its cooldown by 50%, which I just think make a little bit more sense than just giving it +1 multicast and destroying every single item on your opponent's board. Arc Blaster, tech reference. Armored Core, again, we went over this before, cooldown changes. Bulldozer, damage gets slightly reduced. Friends' cooldowns are reduced as well. In terms of the total cooldown reduction, I think this makes sense as well. Blast Doors, when your enemy uses a weapon or burn item, charges 2 seconds instead of opponent. Sure, whatever, just a wording change. Chris Army Knife, tech tag, lower cooldown, we went over that. Cog with the relic tag. We're seeing some similar stuff, so I might just go over this. So Crew Tools, new item. Gone over this in a video, so I'll cover it briefly. So, new item. We have a tool and a relic with some charge references. It's small dually item, part of the new expansion. Cooldown, lowered at each level. We charge a tech item for 1 second. If you have exactly one tech item, its cooldown is reduced by 1 second. This makes sense to me. It seems to be like it would be really strong if you are just running one tech item, but that instance seems niche though, so I'm not really sure how it's going to work, but it does seem interesting. Interesting item. So Cybersecurity got a nerf. It just does 30 damage now instead of 30, 40, 50. And it has this. This is a base, and then it has this for each other weapon attack item you have. So is that a buff? I'm not sure. I'd have to have a look at the card. I'm pretty sure it is, though. And we see here Dinosaur gets a buff with the new items. I think that these destroy an item dinosaurs are going to be pretty strong with the new dinosaur items. You just give all your dinosaurs extra damage permanently. I think this is going to be interesting. Final Disguise, another new item. Silver, medium, shield, reference. 8-second cooldown. It has a lot of multicast for each other relic or dinosaur you have, and you shield for a certain amount. This just seems to be some sort of activator, basically, where it just goes off a lot. It's charging something like a primal core. It makes sense. Dino Saddle. This is an interesting one. It gives your vehicles multicast. Not a lot of vehicles in the expansion, but there are a couple. You can also just chuck thrusters on something and give it multicast. It is a large commitment, obviously, because this is a medium item. So you put the medium item on the board, you put thrusters on the board, that thing gets multicast, but you have also used up 3 slots just to give it multicast. So I guess if you're running a wide vehicle board, this thing is extremely good. But yeah, it is a little bit maybe dodgy. We'll see. So now we have Dinosaur. So I think that's how you say it. Dinosaur. You know, small item, starts at bronze, loads of tags here, weapon, friend, relic, dinosaur, tool, vehicle. So cooldown of 5 seconds, deals 10, 20, 30, 40 damage. Sure, this item's cooldown is reduced by 50% if you have at least 4 other dinosaurs, tools, or relics. Obviously, this doesn't really matter if you upgrade it. Doesn't really do much more damage. It's more about the cooldown and it being an activator with a lot of different tags. I think that's what, pushes it to make it good. Okay, so new name, DJ Circuit Breaker. Flamethrower starts at silver now instead of gold. Has cooldown reduction instead. And it just deals 2 flat damage. And now it doesn't burn equal to 2 times its damage. It was really strong at diamond sometimes, so I guess this makes sense. Yeah, interesting. Interesting change. I don't see Flamethrower being played all that often anymore, though, so I don't think it's super significant of a change. Flintstones, another new item, part of the Dually expansion. So, Bronze, Tool Relic, Tech Reference, and Burn. It's a small Dually item with a cooldown of 4 seconds. Burn 3, 4, 5, 6 for each relic or tool that you have. This item's cooldown is increased by 1 second for each tech item you have. This just makes sense for a wide relic board. You use this, it's great. You have a really low cooldown with a lot of burn. You don't want to use tech with it, obviously, because it increases its cooldown. Enchants, Forklift starts at bronze, tech reference. So, this makes sense to me that it just starts at bronze now, so you maybe just get to see it a little bit earlier on Dually, and it could be better. We'll see. Anyway, so Ignition Core has its cooldown reduction now, so it starts a little bit high, but then it gets reduced, which I think this makes sense. I think the cores still needed to be buffed. I think they were a little bit underpowered still. Lens now has a hidden tag of reference. Memory Core. So, you can see here the core against damage equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 times this item's value. That makes sense to me. I don't know what changed. Okay, so Mamasaur starts at silver now. This is ridiculous. This is a massive buff with the new dinosaur items. So, starts at silver. It's a lot easier to get. If your enemy has at least 6 5/4 items, destroy a small or medium enemy item for the fight. Scaling is better as well. This is a massive buff. You get to start your scaling on your dinosaur earlier, on your Mamasaur earlier, on your other dinosaurs earlier. And it gets, it's the same essentially with better damage scaling at the higher levels. This is a really, really big buff, I think. I did make a prediction. I was an Inco server and I'm like, listen, I swear Mamasaur, she's going to be the GOAT this season. And she got a buff. So I think Mamasaur might be the GOAT for a little bit. We'll see. Motherboard, in tech reference. Plasma Grenade got buffed. So cooldown for 6 seconds. Obviously, the slow all got reduced, but it still slows all enemy items, which is kind of the main thing you wanted out of it anyway. Just burns both players for 10, which makes sense. This might be a little bit detrimental at a low level. You can get it at bronze, so this could be bad. Increases its ammo at higher levels. I like this change. Lower cooldown, more ammo, more uses. New Primal Core. So this is what I'm talking about with dinosaurs that have high usage being able to proc this. Weapon Dinosaur Core Relic. It is a damage item at medium. Starts at silver. Cooldown 765 seconds. Deals 550 damage, sorry. Your dinosaur and relic weapons gain 10, 20, 30 damage for the fight. Adjacent items are relics. When you use another dinosaur or relic, charges 1 second. Slow one item for 4 seconds. These are all enchantments. This seems really great. You don't need positioning, so you don't need left or right. It just charges no matter where it is. Gives adjacent items relic tags, which obviously just makes sense given these. Yeah, seems good. I can see this being really good with something like thrusters. And obviously with something like Dianosaur and Mamasaur, you get to permanently scale this thing's damage. And it already has a low cooldown and a lot of charge. Seems to be good to me. Okay, Rail Gun. So starts at bronze now. And it is effectively the same item, except it just has a bronze tier. I think this is a good change. You get to see it a little bit earlier, maybe build around it a little bit better. It felt slightly hard to find at silver, so I guess bronze does make it a bit easier. Awesome. Red button. This seems to be good now. So instead of charging it for a set amount and just being 7 seconds, we have a cooldown reduction and it charges adjacent large items for half their cooldown instead. So if we have something like a railgun, which has a higher cooldown, we get more value out of that charge. And it has a quicker cooldown as well. So with something like a lens or a light bulb, which charges an item to the right or charges an adjacent item, you use something like this, and you're getting a lot of value out of it. Rec specs starts at gold. Dinosaur friend weapon, damage large dually, cooldown of 15 seconds, deals 100 damage. If your enemy has more items than you, destroy one of their items. When you use another dinosaur, charges 3 seconds. When you use another friend, this gains 50 and 100 damage for the fight. This doesn't seem that great to me. Seems a little bit underwhelming. I think the other dinosaurs are better so far. Very large commitment, having this at large, and then doesn't feel like it's that good, honestly. I guess we'll see, but it doesn't feel that great. Some great enchantments. Freeze one item for 7 seconds. It does go pretty quickly, so that feels like it could be pretty good. Schematics, hidden tech reference. Tanky Anki, another new item, part of that expansion. So, starts at bronze, friend weapon dinosaur. Damage and shield, large on dually. Has a cooldown of 6 seconds, deals 50 damage. Enemy weapons have minus damages at different levels, and when one of your dinosaurs deal damage, you gain shield. So it effectively gives all your dinosaurs a shield enchant, which I think is really good for a large item, and you get some survivability here as well. This, true to its name, makes you super tanky. I think this is a really cool looking item. Yeah. Another new one, Temporal Navigator. So tech vehicle starts at silver. Medium on dually, part of the new expansion. Cooldown is 6 seconds, so you haste adjacent items. This is your only tech item. Its cooldown is reduced by 50%. And at the start of each day, you get a relic from any hero. No size specifications, may I say. Now, obviously, relic from any hero, there aren't any legendary items that are specific to a hero, so you won't get the legendary relics. I'm pretty sure. I wonder if they'll say something here at the start of each day, get a non-legendary relic from any hero. Don't know, but this is a great economy item. If nothing else, I think it is great on the haste. It seems similar to a captain's wheel if it's your only tech item. This seems pretty good to me. Yeah, I like the idea of it. Great econ item. Tesla coil, hidden tech reference. Trollosaur, another new item. I think this thing sucks off rip. Silver tier. So Dragon Dinosaur Weapon Friend, damage and burn. It's a medium item, part of Duali's new expansion. Cooldown is 7 seconds. It only deals 10 damage, but you burn equal to 10%. So it has the burn enchant built in. So the first time a player falls below half health, destroy a small item. And when you destroy an item during a fight, this permanently gains damage. Look, for a medium item, sure. It doesn't seem that bad, but starts at 10 damage, has a 7-second cooldown. I do like the fact that when you fall below half health, it just destroys an item. Seems like it would work well with, your Dinosaur, your Mamasaur, all of those other items. It just feels a little bit underwhelming still, I think. I just don't think it's that great. And he's a troll guy. I hate trolls. Virus. So, just some enchantment changes here. Equal to 10 times. It's just enemy instead of opponent. Weaponized Claw cooldown changes make sense to me. We're seeing some potion references in these two items. That also makes sense to me. Amber is now a relic. Your other items slow for 1 more second. Instead of your other slow items have +1 slow. Makes sense to me. Athanor potion reference. Blank Slate, new item part of the Mac expansion. So, Blank Slate, bronze, relic. It's a quest item as well. So it's a medium item part of the new Mac expansion. Cooldown is 6 seconds. When you use another relic charge, it's 1 second. This got changed. I believe its cooldown was reduced by 1 second for each other relic you had. Instead, now it's when you use another relic charge. So there's a lot of things here, part of the quest, where you have to unlock. I believe it has freeze, it has poison, it has burn, it has regen as well. So it has a lot of different procs, which you unlock through your quests. It doesn't say here, but it seems to be a really good item still. Even without that, potentially 1 second cooldown, you still get the charge, so it's still going to be really quick. Okay, a couple of changes here. I won't read through them, but you can see them on the screen. Eternal Torch, another new item. So, starts at bronze. It's a relic, medium item, burn and a quest item, Mac expansion, 5 second cooldown, burn 2, 4, 6, 8. Sure. This is it gains multicast when it gets 100 burn on it, and it unlocks. It essentially gains burn when you burn. So a wide burn build makes a lot of sense with an item like this. It would get huge quickly. Seems interesting. Excavation tools, another one, another new Mac expansion item. Small silver tool item. Has a cooldown of 6 seconds and you charge an adjacent relic 1, 2, 3 seconds. This seems to be really strong. If you have a quest item, you reduce it by 50, it can have a 3-second cooldown, and a diamond is charging an adjacent relic for 3 seconds. These relic builds, I think, are going to go very, very quickly. I would be terrified to run into this right now. All this charge that I'm seeing on these relic items, we can see here as well. So another relic item, so you freeze one item. This thing also gains multicast, and I believe it has charge on it, even though it doesn't mention it here. So medium quest item that has freeze. It's a new Mac expansion. Cooldown gets reduced. It freezes an item. I don't know now if it has that charge since I'm seeing this cooldown reduction, but it is a relic. It does have freeze, so it seems to be good. Hourglass, some cooldown changes. It got nerfed slightly. I didn't really see the need for this, but sure. Idle Decay, this is literally just the poison version of the burn. So I'll just, show it on the screen, but it's literally the exact same as the Eternal Torch, except it's poison. Live Conduit, again, it's literally the exact same as the previous two, the Eternal Torch and the Decay, except it's regen. So I won't go through it. It's the exact same quest as well. So when you gain regen, this gains regen. It gains multicaster after 100 regen. Seems like it would be strong when it gets it to that high regen level. Macroscope. So this is one that I believe I missed. So it's a silver tool item. It's small, new Mac expansion item. Cooldown at 765, starts at silver. So it slows an item for 1 second. If you have another relic quest or enchanted item that has +1 multicast for each, that's a lot of slow. A lot of slow procs. This seems like it would be really good with the Magnus Femur. Lots of slow with a lot of multicast. There's some other slow relics that you can get as well, so this seems to be really good. Memento Mori just has the relic tag. Miro also has the relic tag. Palanquin got nerfed. I don't see people running Palanquin. Don't know why it got nerfed. Peace Wrought. Remove the property tag. Gave it a relic tag. I think that makes a lot of sense. Don't really see how it's a property. I can see how it's a relic though. Have you seen that thing? Pendulum got a relic tag. Potion Distillery. Hidden potion reference. Same with recycling bin. Ritual Dagger. Relic. Lots of things getting a relic tag. I'll just scroll through slowly. Sapphire. Did get changed though. So, plus 0.5. This makes a lot of sense. It has a slightly lower cooldown as well. I like this change. The actual item itself is slightly better. Its buff is reduced, which I think makes sense as well. +1 freeze duration was pretty ridiculous. Okay, potion reference, relic, potion reference, relic, relic. I'm just going to scroll through these. Tomb of the Ancients. So, new large, kind of feels like a keystone item. Large silver tier item, relic and property, part of the new Mac expansion. Gain 5, 10, 15 regen for the fight. Has +1 multicast for each other relic you have. Obviously, lots of uses. It does have a reasonably high cooldown, but it's going to have the multicast. So, and now it does unlock poison and freeze. I said that in the wrong way around, but those quests, I think it's after you buy a certain amount of items, or it's you freeze or poison a certain amount, it gains those abilities. This seems to be good. It is a large item, so it is a high commitment, but I think it seems to be a good item. Potion reference, Atlas Stone gains relic. Atlatl is relic. And we can see here, these make sense to me. I think its slow and haste and chance are really good for how quickly it generally goes with a high damage. Makes sense. Same thing with Billboard. It goes really fast, so let's just reduce the amount of slow, freeze, and haste it puts out. Makes sense. Relic on the Crystal Bonsai, Relic on the Dragon's Tooth. Heirlooms instead of jewelry against a relic tag as well. Sure, that makes sense. Hypergreens. When you use an adjacent item, freeze one medium or small items for 1 second. And now it's just item. So That makes sense. It's just a wording change. Jabalian Dagger instead of Pygmalion's Dagger makes sense. More culturally appropriate. It's not just Pig's Dagger, guys. It's a Jabalian Dagger. It's for the whole culture. Double damage bonus at shiny. That makes sense as well. Jabalian recurve bow instead of a long bow, which makes sense because yeah, it is a recurve bow. Gains the relic tag as well. Keychain got buffed. I could see people maybe running this now at 6 seconds if you get some haste on this thing, which, you know, don't get me wrong, haste on Pig. But 3 seconds, 6 seconds, and you just get to use a property. If you have a property with a high cooldown and you just get to use it every 6 seconds, I think that makes sense. Ledger enchantment change is still never going on the board. Lumbors has Aquatic, that makes sense. Masterpiece gains the relic tag. Yep. Spare change at +1 value on golden. Sure, just a bit of a wording change there. Phonograph got a slight nerf, 20 to 40%. I like this change. Still think maybe with this change, I think shinies should be double to the left. I think it would be obviously be mega broken, but having the item to the right have its cooldown reduced by 20%, maybe make it the same. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's still ridiculously good, obviously, but it is obviously worse now. All right, Rice Baller. Just a wording change. Signet Ring gained Relic. Space Scraper has triple value during combat instead of in. Wording change. Stained Glass Window. So, cooldown, nerf, double value, and bonus cooldown reduction at shiny. Yep, makes sense. Subscraper, your other items have plus value equal to this item's value during combat. This makes sense. It's literally just a wording change, I believe. T-set, Relic, Tuxtown Relic. We're seeing a lot of things gain the Relic tag, basically. So as soon as I see something like this, I might not even read it out anymore. My throat's getting real dry. Giant Ice Club have the Yetarian Club. Cool. Yetarian Club? Maybe that's, Pole? Maybe he's a Yetarian, or is he just a giant? Because, I mean, it's a Giant Ice Club, so it makes sense that this guy was holding this thing, you know? Relic tag, when you freeze, when any item gains freeze. This is a good change. It slightly nerfs it again instead of when any item gains freeze. If you go up against a freeze board, this thing isn't as good. It's worse. And it's now, yeah, only when you freeze, I think that's a good change. Gatling Gun. Makes sense. I like this change. Ambergris is a relic. I need to stop reading those out. Enchantment changes on Astrolabe. Augment reagents. Okay, so this seems to be new. It's a bronze tier item, starts at small, so on all heroes. So it has a cooldown of 6 seconds, so it's a small item template. So I don't know. So what does it do? Does it do anything? Not sure. I guess we'll have to see. It's just a hero item with 6 second of cooldown, and it just says this is a small item template. Okay, Blue Gun gains Relic. I'm not going to go over the enchantment changes and that wording change. All right, double gold gain for golden. Crow's Nests, enchantment changes, custom, scope. Finally, it got nerfed. It's just 1 second now instead of 1.5 to 2. I think that's a great change. I still think it's really good. Electric Eels, so starts at 876 and it just charges for 2. I think this is a good change. I think it was a really great counteractive item. This makes sense to me. Figurehead got the relic tag. Its cooldown got nerfed. 10, 15, 20 instead of 10, 20, 30. I think this is a good change. You know, you're seeing some really fast elemental death charges. Grappling Hook. Viable item now. You get a lot of slow procs from it. Instead of just having a lot of slow on one item. I think this is a great change. I could see myself running this on a slow board now. Harpoon. Enchantment changes. Holsters. Enchantment changes. Ice Pick. 25 flat damage. Its scaling is better. That makes sense to me. Yeah. I'm not really seeing many people run Ice Pick. But I think maybe we might see it. Who knows? It's not Vanessa's Amulet anymore. It's Corzena's Crest. Corzena Crest. Lore, I guess. Relic. Pop Snappers, lower cooldown. That thing seems like it'd be really good in the early game then. Powder Horn instead of Powder Flask. Sure. Ramrod. When one of your items runs out of ammo, just a wording change. If you have 5 or more unique types of items cooldown is reduced by 50%. Another wording change. Enchantment change. Shipwreck, property, and relic tags. Makes sense. Silencer, nerf. Wow, okay. It's a double. So Shiny's the same. Obviously they changed it because of the change here. And Shiny, I guess it's a nerf now. Because I guess if you get the Shiny enchant at an earlier level, it just matches its cooldown reduction instead of giving you the additional 25% off the bat. Cool. I don't see why the live being Slimunding Primordial is a relic, but sure. Star Charm Boulder being a relic. I love how the big rock is just a relic. Volcanic Vents enchantment changes. It's the same thing with these other ones. It was putting out. It has multicast. It's rapid. Doesn't need that much haste, slow, or freeze. Okay, skill changes. Finally, we're through the items. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Adaptive Audience. So, when one of your items runs out of ammo, you gain regen. Love it. Great change to a monster skill that needed it. Aggressive got buffed. More crit chance at each level. Love it. This makes sense with some rapid items that gain crit chance. Put it with something like a Swashbuckle. Get some damage scaling as well. I like it. Okay, all talk. This is huge, I have to say. 2550, but instead you get a ton of burst. Loads. I like it. I like it a lot. Ambush starts at silver now as well. This is an overall buff as well. Better at gold. Better. And you just get it at silver as well. I don't know whether... I'm assuming you still get it at gold off of the fight. Okay, new monster skill. Ancient Vengeance. Sounds cool as. Starts at diamond. Wow. Relic. Charge. Medium. Common. Medium? So, when your enemy uses a weapon, charge at a relic 1 second. Oh, that's disgusting. Okay. That seems really good. Wow. All right. Interested to see how that goes. So, Arms Race got buffed. This makes Veteran Octopus seem a little bit more scary, I think, because he has this thing at diamond, so he's going to have a ton of crit chance. Salt Focus starts at silver. Slightly reduced slow. At diamond, at least, we get it at 1. At silver as well. Like it. Barnacle Crusted. They're just reducing cooldown reduction across the board, which I think makes sense. We want the game to go a bit slower, guys. Trust me, these are good changes. You want the game to go slower. It's way too fast. Berserker. So, cooldown reduction, reduced as well. Makes sense. Blizzard. Freeze reduction. Like it. Brewmaster. Hidden Potion reference. Buddy System. It's literally the exact same. Sure. Burning Rage got buffed. I like it. I had a great video where I got Burning Rage as a starting monster skill. It just has way, way better scaling. You burn pretty rapidly, so I really, really like this. Chilling Touch. Slow got reduced. Thank goodness. This thing is ridiculous on Lich. Maybe Lich is slightly more beatable now just due to the reduced slow. Wording change on Chocoholic. Clean Storefront. I think this was a much needed buff. You get this upgraded, and this can kind of go to the moon, because obviously with your whole doubling thing, your doubling kind of meme on Pig, this can be a big number. I like it. Needed it. Counter-Strike starts at gold. So the first time your enemy uses an item, it charges all your items 1 or 2 seconds. I think this is a great change as well. It makes it a little bit more unique in terms of what it does. And it just does your whole board instead. And it's just one time. I like it. Yeah. Critical Investments. It has a toy tag. So toy reference. Your properties and toys have plus 10, 15, 20% crit chance. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Seems to be slightly better on Pig now. I like it. Cairo Mastery. Starts at silver. So this is, I would say, probably still a nerf just because of the freeze reduction. But you can get it early, which I do like. And yes, Diamond Fang's got nerfed. This is a good thing. We want less cooldown reduction, guys. I swear, we want less cooldown reduction. Distributed System starts at diamond, so when you use a large item, haste all of your small items for 1 second. That seems ridiculous. I'm terrified of weapons system now. That guy seems weapons platform. Sorry, that guy seems terrifying. Draconic Rage starts at silver, so when you use a medium item, a burn item gains +3, +6, +9. This seems like a buff. I'm assuming the dragon will still have it at diamond, but when you go to a monster shop, or when you get your gold starting skill, you can maybe get this. Dumpster diving, potion reference. When you heal or gain regen, charge a poison item. That seems really good. I can imagine that being amazing on Mac. Because Mac doesn't have a lot of heal items explicitly, but he does have a lot of regen items. So this seems like something that would be ridiculous on Mac now. Explosion potions, potion reference, extreme comfort changes. They're changing a lot of monster skills here, guys, and I like it. There were some really underutilized ones, which I think needed some changes. So, when you heal or gain regen, your shield items gain more shield. This thing sucked booty, I have to say. And this is a much needed change. This is great. Finesse shield, while your enemy has more health than you. Shield items have the cooldowns reduced by slightly less. Love it. Yeah, we need less cooldown reduction, guys. Fire starter, at the start of each fight, burn. Slightly less. Makes sense to me. At silver level, sure. Reduce it by 2. I guess it was too strong at 17. Flame Dancer has its crit chance improved. I like it. I still don't think it was good enough at what it was, so this makes sense to me. Foreboding Winds, just as diamond now. And it changes, so your weapons deal double crit damage. Wow. Wow, this is a big change. I'm interested to see what's his name? I forget. Lord of the Wastes. This guy seems like it'd be pretty scary, because double crit damage, he already has a weapon that does quadruple crit damage, so new skill here though. So free ride starts a silver vehicle, cooldown medium, common. Your rightmost item is a vehicle. Your vehicles have their cooldowns reduced by 5, 10, 15%. We saw with something like thrusters, and with the new saddle item, this seems to be like a really good skill that you'd want to look out for. Guardian's Fury, new monster skill, part of the new Green Heart encounter. Starts at silver, weapon tags, shield reference cooldown, medium, common. When you have a shield, your weapons have their cooldowns reduced by 10, 20, 30%. Okay, that seems really, really good. Seems to be a little bit odd that we're going with this much cooldown when we're trying to reduce the total amount of cooldown in the game, but it's a cool looking skill. Hardly working. We just have a bit of a wording change, it looks like, somehow. Healthy Jolt instead of Overheal Haste. Overheal Haste was a little bit explicit in its wording. It just said what it did. It was a bit blunt. I like the new name change. Hunker Down. When a sandstorm starts, you take 25, 50, 75% less damage for the rest of the fight. I love this. I love this. This seems really, really cool. It's way more unique now. It's not just the same as all of these other skills that do the exact same thing. I really, really like this change. Hyper Focus, slightly less cooldown. Ice Bullet starts at silver. When you freeze, reload a weapon, 1, 2, 3 ammo. Makes sense. It sucked at diamond. No one was using it. Industrialist. So it's just wording change on that. Jack of all trades. We have a new skill here. What looks like a new enemy. Gold, charge, medium, common. The first 5, 10 times you use an item each fight. Charge one item from another hero 1 second. Sure. Knife Tricks got nerfed. Probably needed it. Still phenomenal. Long Stride starts at gold if you have 5 or fewer items. 5 and 10 instead of 8 and 12 at gold. I like it. Slightly less charge now on Neophiliac. This was one of the best skills in the game. This does make a lot of sense. Scroll down to Pacifist. It is cooldown reduction, and its name is Pacifist instead of Minimalist. I think it makes a little bit more sense. Yes, I like less cooldown reduction. Panic. First time you fall below 50% half HP. We're reloading less items, but we get charge. This guy seems like he might be slightly scary now. Who knows? And we're seeing here what looks like another new monster skill. Passive power at gold. It has friend weapon damage, medium tags. Your items with no cooldown have plus 25, 50% damage, burn, poison, shield, heal, and regen. Wow. That's cool. I like this. Passive power. Power Broker. So starts at silver now instead, and your weapons have plus damage equal to 1, 2, 3 times your income instead of 1, 2 times. I like it. It was just worse than the pig skill, so this makes a lot of sense that it would maybe be better, if not the same, I think, now. Purifying Flame starts at silver, slightly better scaling as well. I like it, makes sense. Pyromania starts at silver. We have burn 20, 10, 20, 30 when you use a large item. I still think the skill sucks. I don't think it's really going to get used that much ever. While your enemy has more health than you, heal and regen items have their cooldown reduced by 5, 10, 15. It's literally just a wording change. I shouldn't have even read it out. Starts at bronze. We have slightly better regen, and it starts at every single level. 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of just 2, 4 at gold and diamond. Sharpened steel starts at bronze. So we have what looks to be slightly better scaling, at least at the gold, silver, and bronze level. New bronze as well. I like it. Short up, another great change. These sort of heal, when you heal charge skills seem to be getting a massive buff, whereas when you heal or gain regen, yeah, these skills are looking a lot better for their diamond tier. They really deserve that now. All right, new Siphon Shield skill, part of the new Green Heart encounter. Starts at gold, shield and poison reference. Your shield items have plus shield equal to 100 or 200% of the poison on your opponent. Wow. I mean, just imagine something like this on, you've got a fixer-upper, you've got a poison money tree, or you've got a poison fixer-upper, and you're just getting a ton more shield, which also scales your poison, and it just keeps going. It just keeps going. Oh my goodness. What am I looking at? What? I mean, it sucked before, don't get me wrong. But they've 15 times the damage, essentially. Wow. Okay, Snowstorm is ballistic now. All right. Wow. Okay, Thick-Hide. Wording changes. Thirsty Potion reference. Tiny Dancer starts at gold. Slightly less cooldown reduction. I like to see less cooldown reduction. Slow down the game a little bit. And let's just say, so far, what I'm seeing is less cooldown reduction means we are going to enjoy the game a little bit more, but I also think it means Pig is going to be better. Because a lot of his items are just slower. And they rely less on that cooldown reduction. So I have a distinct feeling that he's going to be good. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway. Silver, Toxic Flame starts at instead of gold. Poison Burn reference. So we have scaling now instead of just when you burn poison and when you poison burn. I like this change. I think it makes sense. I think it's good. Probably better now, to be honest with you. Toxic Friendship starts at silver. I think this is a good change. Maybe makes Dooley a little bit better. I mean, it is a monster skill, so it's still hard to get, but obviously Dooley, you want to, do as many different status effects when you use a friend as possible. Trained is just a wording change. No, it's not. Trained is better. It's your whole weapon board, so it's just a better monster skill now, so it's better than your typical slow skill. Awesome. Okay, so now we have trickle down economics. When you use a large item, haste your other items for 1 to 2 seconds. This is obviously much better. Void Rage starts at diamond, and it's only diamond now. And it's when you burn haste one item for 1 second instead of 1 to 2. Great change. Waters of Infinity. You have 10, 20, 30, 40 regen for each non-weapon item you have. It needed the buff, honestly. I'm glad that it happened. Oh, okay. Lots of words, a ton of changes. Obviously, with the new season, it was going to happen. I am uber excited. A lot of changes, and I have to say this. Wow, that is a insane buff. 15 times. I'm excited for less cooldown reduction. I'm excited for all of that. Yeah, well, hey. Really long video, so I won't keep you here too long. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, comment, drop it down below. It really supports the channel. I'm trying to grow. I love this community. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.